Final Destination Bloodlines is directed by Lipovsky and Stein, and is the 6th installment in the Final Destination franchise and the first one to be released in 14 fucking years. And yeah, the paranoia is back. You know the paranoia I mean, like the paranoia after watching a Final Destination movie. I went to a store to get some ice, and the backs of the ice were stuck to the walls of the ice machine vendor or whatever. And I grabbed a hammer and just keep hitting like the ice. And I have a friend behind me that was grabbing his Crocs, and then one of his Crocs slipped off his hand and hit my head. And I was like, holy shit! I couldn't walk like a block to my house with silence because I was like, something's gonna happen. I went to take a shit to the toilet, and the pressure of the water was too strong. I was like, this toilet is gonna explode. So yeah, it's back, and I'm loving this feeling. Final Destination is my favorite horror movie franchise of all time. So you can imagine how excited I was to go and watch this film in the theaters. The last one I tried to watch in the theaters, but when I bought the ticket, they told me, you're 11 years old. What the hell are you doing here? Yeah, I was a kid. I loved those films since I was a kid, so I couldn't watch it and I had to wait for it to be on, for home video media, whatever. And so this was a very special theater experience. I went with a friend of mine, and this is one of the most fun I have in a theater, like in the last couple of years, at least in the last 5 years. This movie is extremely fun, like genuinely exciting. And I think a lot of people, not just Final Destination fans, will really enjoy this movie. And I think that if you're not a fan, you can still enjoy Bloodlines. And that's something really cool. If you're a fan, you will enjoy it even more because you get all the nods that are doing to the previous movies and all those stuff. And I will try to not spoil you shit about this movie, like really. I will try to be like very ambiguous with what I say, but try to make my point. It's not my favorite one. My favorite one is easily the 5th one. The 5th one has an amazing ending, but I think that the breach, the incident of the 5th one is like extremely well made, and the effects still hold up. When it's about the incident of this one, I think that the effects are not as impressive, but it's really tense and it's really, really well done. The deaths are really great. There's one that is extremely gory, and it's one of the best CGI I've seen in the last couple of years. And it's like a head popping up, and it was incredible. Like my friend and I were like, oh my god, that's intense. There's a lot of CGI in this movie, and the last movies have a lot of CGI. But again, what I love about this franchise is that it's fun. It's fun. It's not over dramatic. It's not trying to be serious. It's fun. Even the worst one, the 4th one called the Final Destination, is trying to be fun. And this one is like that. There's not a single moment that drags in this movie. There's not a single moment I was like, okay, I'm waiting for the next step. I was always engaged. And the movie always kept you engaged and tense, because even though they were not like in a live or die situation, you felt that they were always in danger. Now, what is special about this movie is the storyline. Like I said, I will try to not spoil you shit, but basically there's a change in the formula. If you have seen the trailers, you know what it is. The grandmother of the main protagonist had this incident, and now her kids and her grandsons, they're like going through some things that are very Final Destination like because of her. That's everything I'm gonna tell you. And even though I don't think it's the best one, I think it might be the best paced out of all of them, and it's because of story structure. And what makes this movie special from the other movies, and I think that a lot of people will enjoy, even though, again, it's extremely fun, there's some heart with this film, because all the victims of death in this film are family. So they always are together, and that helps for the pacing, because they are always in danger together. It's not just like, oh my god, like this guy, we're following this guy and we're seeing him in danger. Yeah, there are scenes like that, but which, by the way, some really surprised me. You know, the scenes of Final Destination, you know, the tension of what's gonna happen to him, how he's going to bite the dust. Then you see him biting the dust. So there are scenes that you're like, I didn't expect that. Okay. And then there's another scene that you're gonna love, by the way. There's a scene in a suburban street. You're gonna adore that scene. You're like, okay, that thing that you were expecting didn't happen. And then, like 30 minutes later, something happens and you're like, oh my god, you were building to this. This is genius. There are a lot of brilliant moments in this movie, and there are characters in this movie. There are also a lot of fun. Richard Harmon as Eric is really funny in this movie, guys. I really had a lot of fun with that character. And I think that the biggest criticism you will hear about this movie is that some characters are really stupid. But I wasn't annoyed by that. I was actually laughing, because the things that they do and the things they say are really funny, and so I had a lot of fun with the characters. And yeah, there are some characters that you want them to be dead and be killed in the worst way possible, like in the previous movies. Like there's always a douche that you want him to die. There's a kid in this movie, you're like, a fuck you kid. But most of the characters, in fact I will say like 98 or 95% of the characters, you want to root for them. That's really special for a Final Destination movie, and you care when they die. You're like, damn it, that is really fucking awesome and very creative, and holy shit, I really like you. You really care about this family. You want them to be safe. You want them to fix this thing with death. There are two revelations in this movie that I was like, oh my god. The first one is extremely funny. It's shocking, but it's extremely funny. We were laughing our asses off. The other one is really special for Final Destination fans, and I was shocked. Now my friend, the friend that I watched the movie with, he has just seen like the third one and the fourth one, so he doesn't know that much about it. So he didn't get like the wow of the reveal. I did it, but like the scene still worked for him. Leading to the third act, I struggled to find something I didn't like about the movie. There's this situation that a mom and her kids are having in this movie with the main protagonist of the film that I didn't feel as much as the filmmakers wanted me to feel. But then the climax happened and I was like, yeah, now I feel it. I don't know what to complain about the movie. Unfortunately, once again, if you have seen Final Destination movies, you know that the biggest issue with them is the ending. At least the first one, the third one, and the fourth one have not the greatest endings, you know. The fifth one, ironically, has one of the best endings in horror movie history. This one, unfortunately, doesn't have an ending like that. And yeah, the bar, the fifth one left was too high, I get it, but I think you could have ended the film a lot better. There's also an object in this film that is new to the lore of the Final Destination movies, and I want to know what you think about it. I really like it. I really liked it, but I don't know, it's very new and it's very creative, and I really like that stuff. 14 years later, we have this movie franchise that is still holding up, that is still reinventing itself, and I think that's really cool. And like, if it wasn't like my favorite horror movie franchise before, now it definitely is. I'm gonna give Final Destination Bloodlines an 8 out of 10. Rest in peace, Toni Todd. I think this is one of his last movie appearances, and there's something about his character that I don't know if it is a coincidence or if they kind of craft that in that way because they knew about his health. I don't know. I really don't know, but if it is a coincidence, that's a really creepy shit. That's some really creepy shit. So it's very like fitting with the horror icon that he has built. And man, he's gonna be missed. I'm gonna miss him. If they make a seventh film, which they have to make, by the way, because I'm like in this hype train with this franchise again. It will be really sad to not see him. And it's not like he's been in the all of the films. If you have seen all the films, you know that he's not in all of them. But he's been like in 3 or 4. I think 3. Yeah, he's been in 3 films. So no, 4 films. He's been in 4 films now. So I will miss him. Yeah. So guys, go and watch Final Destination Bloodlines when it comes out. Please let me know your thoughts on the film when you see it. And like always, thank you for watching and take care of your time, because death is coming.